Hey, what's up? It's Dominic D'Angelo. I'm of Studio1Sports.com podcast, Heat Wrestling, and for a little bit of SCScoops.com too. Why not? Hey, but I'm here with Mr. Robert Carpos, WE Creative _ish. It's a Friday. TGAF, Robert.
I don't know what's going on. There's different boxes, there's different graphics. I don't like change. And there's a lot of change going on right here. Sorry, this is what I like missed 2 damn days of work, of this work, because I had to go do like shoot job work. And it felt weird because I was on a call, and at no point during that call did I get to talk about Blue Chew.
That's isn't that well? You could have brought it up. Why not?
Oh, it could have come up.
Hmm.
And no, just too early. It's
That
too
wasn't
early.
the time.
There's a ticker at the bottom. Are we doing stock? What's going on here? I
I
love
feel
this.
like
There's a whole
mhm.
layout. There's like funky 70s. I miss the background. I like our background. Was that cool like
I
dirt
could bring that
sheets?
back a little.
Yeah, maybe we tweak this. We
We'll
keep that.
experiment.
It works. There's a lot of Dom's head, is what I'm seeing. It's
Yes.
just like a lot of Dom's dome. It's the way of the format. I also love you wearing, and now you pull back. I see that stupid Jets sweatshirt. Enough of this. Let's say hi to the folks joining us here. Willie Thornbrew
Yes.
says, "Does Drew McIntyre get promo time tonight?" Oh, we will be talking SmackDown. Devin Dowling throwing us an Ayo. Mikey Ward 889 says MJF and Colby Lopez.
Who's that?
It was super weird seeing somebody that I love talking to somebody that I'm not a huge fan of.
Oh,
Dogs and cats living together. Kevin Kellum
yeah.
says MJF versus Rollins would be an interesting match. Surface level observation. I was going to say we should bring Kevin Kellum on, and you had him on one of your other 35 shows.
Yes, I did. He made a big run in on the other night when we were talking live about I think it was Ricochet. I can't remember what we were talking about. But I had him on. It was great to have him.
You are like a media mogul.
I'm trying.
I'm like a cog in the machine at this point. I thought this was a two-man operation. I am one of dozens, hundreds of folks. By the way, Kevin Kellum will be on at some point. He has got a comedy special coming out, Kevin in Hell, that I got to preview a little bit of it.
Oh,
Oh
did you? I
man,
didn't know that.
that's kayfabe. None of us heard any of
Oh.
that, but yes, I may have gotten a snippet of some of that stuff. And holy cow, kids, it's fantastic. Dre Owen says, "Hello, RNI. No Jackie Redmond slander. Thank you." Uh, Scott Chapman on Working Stiff,
Uh-oh.
totally out of pocket, just going off on Jackie Redmond, who not only am I a fan of, friends with Jackie. So wasn't super thrilled with that, but I am thrilled to see Cammy Star is here saying, "After morning, guys, what a day,
Mhm.
what a Friday, what a week of wrestling it has been." To think 1 week ago we were like, "What's going to happen at the Royal Rumble?" And here we are 1 week later going, "What the hell happened at the Royal Rumble?"
Yeah, Robert, how do you feel? Okay, you gave your opinion about the Roman Punk exchange. Has anything differed for you since the dust has settled maybe just a little bit throughout the week? And you've been away.
It still stinks, and they're making life more difficult.
Hmm.
And going into SmackDown tonight, we've been praising SmackDown over the last few weeks. This 3 hour transition, somehow, some way, probably because they stopped listening to your good close personal friend Road Dogg, um, just taking
Or they
shots.
listen more.
Or they listen more, but let's be real. Um, the 3 hour version of SmackDown has shown that it is a really robust, well rounded roster, really robust, well rounded program. The segments tend to make sense. You're building storylines, you're elevating some superstars, you're using people in more interesting ways, like Shinsuke Nakamura, who is not just a guy that's been on the sidelines. It seems like he's rubbing up against Tama Tonga, who's part of the MFTs, who's dealing with the Wyatts. There's a lot of momentum with a lot of folks going on there. And at the very tippy top of that momentum totem pole was Drew McIntyre.
Hmm.
Drew McIntyre wins a title in a surprise fashion against Cody Rhodes. You're thinking, what's going to happen here? He goes and wrestles Sami Zayn. Could have had a feel good moment. Instead, Drew annihilates Sami and eliminates Cody, which is what we predicted right here on this show would happen. And you're going, this guy is maybe he's not a transition champion. Maybe he's not a paper champion. This guy may be going somewhere. And then Roman Reigns and CM Punk took out a shovel the size of a, let's say, an alpaca, that feels like a big animal, and buried Drew McIntyre 6 feet under, buried his title 6 feet under, and buried all of SmackDown 6 feet under. It's the same goddamn company.
Right. So, like was mentioned earlier, how would you, if you were WWE and if you're Drew McIntyre, how would you handle the response, the retort, if you will?
Well, way to put me on the spot for booking. I love that.
Hey, that's what I'm here for.
All right. Not fully formed, but let Drew go scorched earth.
Okay.
Absolute scorched earth. Of course, Roman didn't pick me. Roman knows he can't beat me. Roman's seen what I've done. He wants to go fight the broken down, barely can stand old man CM Punk. He wants to go the cheap route. You go the cheap route. You're a coward. You're a part timer. You're a little bitch. Punk, you're a little bitch. You don't want to deal with me anymore. You cried because I broke a bracelet with your wife's name on it. You guys go there, have the old man part timer fight on SmackDown or on Raw. This is the real show. This is the real title that matters. Nobody can beat me. I'm the greatest of all time.
I like it. I like it. And you don't get that insider baseball too easily.
I hate the insider baseball stuff. I talked about it incessantly as a fan over the years. I've always enjoyed the insidery baseball stuff. It's what made ECW feel edgy when they would take the shots like Shane McMahon, Jesus, Shane Douglas signing his WWF contract in an ECW ring was awesome.
Yeah, that was great stuff. Kevin Kellum mentioned too, Robert, that would set up some very interesting post-Mania stuff with Drew going off like that.
Why not? I mean, like literally, why the hell not let the guy go unhinged? I mean, the other guy who's really got to overcome what happened is Cody Rhodes. It's again why this story was so perfect that they just whiffed on it. Because one of the things Roman said, yes, was burying creative. The other was nobody stepped up. That nobody is Cody Rhodes. The guy who's been week in, week out, making the media appearances, wrestling on the house shows, flying to Europe, flying all over the country, flying internationally. He's been the guy waving the banner and the flag for the WWE. His co-star in the Street Fighter movie. Everything pointing to why this all made sense. And then they went a totally bass-ackwards way.
See, and I'm still subscribed to the fact I like the matchup itself, Punk and Roman. I think that's the best kind of matchup you can get, but how you get there is
if you had a story, here's the thing. If this was the plan and you had a story and this was mapped out, fine. If there was a seed planted at War Games, if there was a moment where Punk took the L at War Games, he got beat by Braun Breaker. Yes, there was the mystery man in the in the scarf or whatever in the mask who stomped on him. If after that show, Roman turns to Punk, you got no excuses. You couldn't get the job done. You're weak. I'm out of here. Now you got it. Now the tables are set. Instead, he stared at both guys. I'm choking on my own Celsius that I'm drinking here. He stared at both guys, and it made you think he can go after one or the other. You have a guy in Gunther who's ready to go for a match with CM Punk. And this is striking while the iron is fairly hot after they cooled off Gunther unnecessarily twice in 2025. You've now fed him all of these important people to get him where he needs to be. And now what the hell do you do with Gunther? I talked about it with Scott Chaplin. It's like maybe you find a way to get to him versus Brock.
Yes, right?
But who cares?
Put his career on the line, like for that?
No, if he survived Janelle Grant, he can survive anything. His career is fine.
It does leave some stuff open, and creates a lot of confusion. Which, I mean, how are you going to capitalize? But I think going back to Drew, his ability on the mic is bar none, really, really, really good. So if anybody can dig themselves out of that burial, it's him. And so maybe they have the confidence that he's capable of doing that. we'll see that tonight. So.
Look, go one step further. Just turn it into Roman historically makes bad decisions when it comes to WrestleMania matches. Hey, Roman, how was your main event match against Dwayne? Oh, that's right. Everybody threw up all over themselves because they didn't want to see it because they don't want to see you. And when you actually fought someone worthy of a challenge, you couldn't handle Cody, and yet I did. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's there. There's a
Yeah.
way for him to theoretically pull the nose up, but don't put him in this position in the first place because there is absolutely no world where this was the plan. All due respect to the BS world of WWE Unreal, which is about as authentic as Dom's coffee that he's drinking right there. We know it's whiskey. We know you're just a degenerate. Unreal, they script the stuff to script the stuff. It's fine. We're going to show you behind the scenes, quote unquote. Yeah, because Michael Hayes showed up to a meeting and had an idea. Come on. I got an idea. Well,
We
what
didn't
if we
talk
put
about this.
Roman in there with Punk?
What did you think? Did you catch the Michael Hayes' comments about Chelsea Green and stuff?
It's Michael Hayes.
Mm-hmm.
His comments on anything are going to range from "you're an idiot" to "we now need to write a check to the NAACP." It's kind of the realm of what winds up happening. His comments on Chelsea Green were that she's someone who elevates other people. I know what he meant.
Mm-hmm.
No one is looking at Chelsea Green as she sits right now and says she's a bigger star than Rhea Ripley. She's a
Right.
bigger star than Bianca Belair. There's plenty of talents who have not been bigger star, like have not been a bigger star than Steve Austin. Mick Foley is not a bigger star than Stone Cold Steve Austin. Mick Foley
Right.
is a world champion and was a guy who was able to kind of carry the company for a window of time. It's how you interpret it. Chelsea, you can put in any role in any spot, and she works. You want to make her a mid-card champion. You want to make her a tag champion. You want to put her in a feud where she gets tossed in a dumpster. She'll make the most of it. She's a versatile utility player. Certain folks at the top who are rectally adjacent, the polite term we can use here on YouTube, they are not doing that. And by the way, when they are forced in a one-off to put somebody else over, Roman Reigns, they turn it into, you guys don't do anything with anybody because you lost to Bronson Reed. And there was, a plan. And then Seth Rollins got injured on that exact same show. On a year where they're trying very, very hard to wrap up a John Cena retirement storyline, which took up 365 insane days where none of that made a lick of sense.
Yeah.
And the roster's in a stronger position now than it's been in quite some time. And there's a lot of folks that they can move up and move forward. I mean, you look at if they go forward with an elimination chamber match, which we don't know. That seems to be the plan for the SmackDown side, that they could just say winner of the chamber faces Drew,
Right.
rather than putting Drew in the chamber, which would have allowed them to take the title off of him and da 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 da. So if it's Drew versus whoever, you can theoretically put Cody in that chamber. You got Jacob Fatu, who makes sense in that chamber, Randy Orton, who makes sense in that chamber, and then 3 open spots that you can fill with a Damian Priest, a Solo Sikoa, Trick Williams. You could, if you want to strap the rocket to Royce Keys, put Royce Keys in that elimination chamber and see what that guy does. You've got Aleister Black, who you can easily bring back and put into that spot. You can throw Miz in there. You can throw Dragunov in there.
Chris Jericho.
Who?
Oh, you know.
No. I don't see Jericho returning in an elimination chamber match. The last time he tried to break the walls down in that capacity, it was in DC.
Oh boy. Who do you if they were to just stick with Drew for Mania, who would you put him up against then in that, like as the most compelling match for that side of the brand, if you will?
Feels like a triple threat. It feels like Drew, Cody, and Fatu is kind of the only option that they've given themselves at this point.
Mm-hmm.
If you jump to Drew and Orton, what does that really get you? You need to build a story with those guys. when there isn't a story that's already kind of embedded in place.
Right.
It feels like Cody and Fatu are feuding for a reason to get to something, and that Drew keeps interfering and interjecting. We just did Sammy, so it ain't going to be Sammy.
Mhm.
I kind of feel like a triple threat, which I don't love anytime that they just don't go one on one in a Mania match, but it feels like the best option that they have. Hoping we get some further clarity this evening on SmackDown, but I don't even know what's on the rest of our rundown here today. I know.
Well, real quick, Liv Morgan set to appear tonight on SmackDown,
Oh yeah,
and
Liv
then she
Morgan's going to
came
pick who she's gonna wrestle.
or a tease a little bit again. I don't know if that's official that she's going to pick somebody. She's just showing up, right, to assess this situation.
To assess the situation of she ain't wrestling Jade. Um, Kevin Kellum asks, do you do night one to night two Path for Mania, Fatu versus Cody night one, winner gets Drew night two?
He brought that up on my other show. Yeah, that's a good. Okay. What do you think of that, pitch, Robert?
No, I think you need the poster match. You need a story.
Mm,
You need something in place, because then whoever doesn't win on night one is going to probably interfere on night two.
interesting.
And you want to make it as easy as possible for the largest audience imaginable to tune in and understand your story. So if you've
Hmm.
already got a match and it's on the poster, you're good to go. And if it's one of your big world title matches, you can't do that. Not to mention the fact that night two's main event is going to be Roman Reigns versus CM Punk.
Yeah, yeah,
They're going to
absolutely.
give Punk the unquestioned, yes, you got to main event Mania for real. Yes, Virginia, there's a Santa Claus. You are a real boy, whatever the hell you want to say. Like, he gets his real main event as opposed to last time where it was like, well, you kind of main evented.
Right. Hmm. Okay. Some interesting things. We'll hopefully some of this gets solved tonight. We'll find out. We'll find out. Hey, somebody's two people solved maybe a little bit of beef. I don't know. We had MJF cross paths with Seth Rollins. What'd you think of that there, Robert? Was that kind of surprising? That I mean, they're both at the Super Bowl, so it does make sense. They're making appearances and doing little interviews and all that. So it was a matter of time, I suppose. And no better place than the Super Bowl, right?
Why are people surprised about this? This isn't like the way people responded to this. This is like seeing the MSG footage where it was like, wait a minute,
Uh huh.
he's a bad guy. How are they in the same? Of course they're going to be professionals. They're going to see each other at a major sporting event like the Super Bowl. They're not going to brawl with each other. They don't outright hate each other, and it's for the general betterment of the business.
Absolutely.
MJF went on a podcast, or he was doing an interview, and he was talking about this week's episode of Dynamite. And the difference between AEW and WWE was in the main event of Dynamite, the crowd was chanting a politically charged chant that we can't repeat part of due to the language, but I believe it was telling ICE to masticate itself.
Interesting.
And he said, we let that chant play out, whereas other companies would censor that chant. I love Max. He is my third child, but they would censor the F bomb. I don't think they would necessarily censor the sentiment, but he's trying to say like AEW is the company where people can say whatever it is that they want.
Yeah. Yeah. Mhm. Should be brought up real quick too. Caspian and another person brought this up. I came in 10 minutes late. Did you mention WWE referee Aja Smith? Horrific situation. Did you hear about this, Robert?
No, I've been in sort of my own personal bubble today of other stuff. I haven't looked at the wrestling news. That's why I count on you, Dom.
Yes.
What happened with Aja Smith?
Aja Smith. Unfortunately, a lot of her family was caught in a house fire and they perished. Yes. So,
Jeez.
want to send our well wishes and prayers out to her for sure. And yeah, just a bad situation. I believe a GoFundMe is set up as well. Um, but yeah, I only caught a little bit of wind of that, and yeah, very upsetting stuff. So all the best to her, for sure. It does put things in perspective when we're talking about wrestling here, and there's more to life than that.
Well, of
Absolutely.
course. I mean, look, what this is all sort of it's meant to be the nice escapism over the course of any given day. Um, Obviously, it's like you say, it's so trite to say thoughts and prayers, but that's awful. That's
It
really
is.
really tragic to hear.
Hmm. For sure.
Not an easy way to
Um,
pivot back to the show
Not
from
an
that,
easy
but
way,
I
not at all.
appreciate you bringing it up. Dre Owens put something out there. It says that AEW and the NFL partnered
They
up for
did.
NFL inspired lucha masks.
Hmm.
So what's interesting about that, I haven't looked at the licensing deal. I know WWE through Fanatics has the custom titles.
Yeah.
So obviously, given that Tony Khan's dad owns an NFL team, they're probably able to find a way in here. Curious how that licensing structure actually was put together because Fanatics carries a lot of weight. Fanatics has the exclusive deal with WWE as well as a lot of the college teams, but any opportunity for any wrestling promotion to get exposure in a more mainstream manner, always going to be something that we're in favor of.
Well, it speaks to Joe. It's what you were saying about MJF and Seth Cross and Paz. This is bigger for the betterment of wrestling in a lot of ways, and NFL tying to AEW and obviously tying to WWE. You can't beat that. I
No, and
will
we
probably
got on AEW for not really going all out on the Happy Gilmore 2 stuff.
sure.
You know, MJF was in it. They didn't do a lot of video packages and really hype that. WWE promoted that Becky Lynch was in it, obviously, and didn't promote that MJF was in it, which was kind of funny. And that's why when people were like, I can't believe Seth and MJF are in the same place, like, well, yeah, like Seth was or MJF was in a movie with Seth's wife. Like,
It's a great point.
yes, there are folks who dislike each other in the business. I don't think those two are it, as opposed to like Seth for years hating CM Punk.
Yeah, yeah, and even that beef seems all but squashed, right? So
Well, when you find a way to make money on a personal matter and turn it into profit, that's when the business is good. There's lots of guys who dislike each other and find a way to make it work. And that's sort of part of the undercurrent of what's going on with Roman Reigns and CM Punk.
absolutely, and even Kevin Nash. We recorded the episode of Click This last night. I won't word it for everybody, but he did happen to talk about the Triple H's history with CM Punk and how that's changed over the course of time and pertaining to what we were talking about. So,
So the headline there is Dom spent last night hanging out with Kevin Nash. I don't get invited. Hangs out with Kevin Kellum. I got to find out online. This is an abusive relationship, Dom.
Robert, you can always join me on a live stream. The invite is always open for you,
You don't even
and
tell
I
me what you're
put you
doing.
over on another podcast.
Yeah,
I'll
you
keep
know,
you in the loop.
let me know. Ping me. I'm
Okay,
generally home. This is the benefit
okay.
of being an old man who works from home. I've got that kind of flexibility.
Now
Um,
that's in my noggin. I'll
so
be hitting you up. 3 a.m. 3 a.m. live streams.
why are you up at 3 o'clock in the morning?
I'm not.
Anyway,
Anywho,
let me see what else there is. Brandon Walker. Hey, I know Brandon
yes.
Walker.
Yeah, I met him briefly at one of the WrestleManias. He's a nice dude. Well,
He's
he
a
had
good dude.
MJF on. Yeah, he had MJF on and on his podcast, and he was asked about CM the feud he had with CM Punk in AEW. So MJF happened to say, if you're asking me, is the CM Punk feud the best feud of my career? I don't know if I can say that unequivocally, but what I can say is it's easily going to go down as one of the greatest feuds of all time. By the time my career is over, when people think of my all-time greatest rivalries, it's going to be on there. No different than when CM Punk's career is over, they're going to say that was probably the best feuds of all time. Now, obviously, MJF's a little in character
Well, he
here,
said one
but
of the best feuds of his career.
yes,
He didn't say the best, but yes, if you look at CM Punk's time in AEW, the best work that CM Punk did was the feud that he had with MJF.
yeah,
That was unquestionably the best work that those two were doing with each other at the time. The issue with AEW is a lot of their feuds either last forever and then peter out, or they just kind of jump from thing to thing to thing. It's why the Hangman Swerve feud was so interesting because it felt like it held the audience's attention for a longer period of time than some of the others. And even that now you try to explain it. Well, no, they're friends. Yes, one stabbed the other with a syringe and burned his family house down. but now they're buddies because they united against the Death Riders, who are also baby faces, except for Wheeler Yuta and Marina Shafir, because they're feuding with Orange Cassidy. But Moxley, the guy who, murdered Bryan Danielson and murdered Darby, is a babyface. But then Darby just got murdered this week by Gabe Kidd, who was part of the Death Riders, but now he's not part of the Death Riders. And they just left Darby in the middle of the desert like something out of Breaking Bad. And nobody seems concerned that Darby may be dead and being eaten by vultures right now.
We didn't get your thoughts on Dynamite yesterday, Robert. Do you want to give your quick one, your quick, succinct version?
So I went into it a little bit in depth with Scott on Working Stiff, but I really liked that there was a match where two of the guys were wrestling, and somebody came out, and there was a distraction, and it led to the finish. And then I liked a second match where these two guys were having a match. Two guys came out, distracted one of the guys, and it led to the finish. I also liked there was a third match where two guys were wrestling. One guy got distracted by somebody on the outside, and it led to the finish. The diversity and creativity that comes out of Tony Khan's mind, I don't know how he does it, man. I don't know how this man can sleep. He's playing 3D chess.
Robert,
Love it.
How much did you like though that we didn't have not one but two eliminator matches?
I didn't know that the main event match was an eliminator match. Like, I just was kind of like, I wasn't paying attention for half a second. I was like, oh, the match is going to start. And then boom, it's over. And wait, did they just put the title on Brody? I hate the eliminator matches. I hate the idea of them. I hate the fact that Penelope and Megan had a great match with the Babes of Wrath, and they're not going to get a better match out of these four. Like, you kind of did the highest and best thing. It's not like Flair Steamboat, where every time they get in there, man, this is going to be amazing. It's not like Ilya Dragunov and Carmelo Hayes, where when these two get in there, they have like magic. It's a rabbit got pulled out of a hat. Let's, be thankful that match happened. That should have been for the women's title. I'm sorry, the tag title. Just put the tag titles on them. Let's move on. We'll see. And Ricochet got a nice win over Jack Perry, and that's the only thing about Ricochet that happened this whole week.
That's it, Robert. That's it. He's been very radio silent, I think, otherwise. We haven't heard anything from him.
I like Ricochet. I'm friends with Ricochet. Mm-hmm. This is kind of I don't know. I'm genuinely kind of at a loss. It's funny.
It is funny.
It's interesting. I like Jimmy Corderas as well, which is why this is tough. Jimmy and I are friends. Like, Trevor and I are friends. Like, I want to be like, guys, like, just get along. It's Ricochet being upset of how he was used in WWE and saying that they took away his love and passion for wrestling. And I think it's how you choose to look at the wrestling business. Is it business or is it performance art? Mm-hmm. And it's a little bit of both, but in WWE, you know that it's going to be more business than performance. It's kind of the best analogy I can give, and then we can wrap this sucker up. I'm a big fan of Patton Oswalt. Love Patton Oswalt. Yeah. I think Patton Oswalt is a hilarious comedian. I saw him years ago when I was at WWE. Unfortunately, we were all seated front row, and he asked, "Oh, what do you guys do?" And we told him, and then he spent 20 minutes just burying wrestling. Yeah. Are you sure you want to come see me? I'm not wearing baby oil. Like, thanks. Patton Oswalt was on a television show called The King of Queens.
Right.
The King of Queens is what happens when you take refuse and put it into a garbage disposal and just turn the disposal on. That's the noise. But he was getting paid a whole lot of money. And there's literally an episode where he just stares blankly at the camera the entire time he's on camera. It's legendary. It's famous. He's just completely blank face planking, like, in the background, like, I don't care, because this has no creative merit. This is simply commercially paying me a lot of money. It's what you're going to get with a lot of folks in WWE. When you go to an AEW, you get to paint with all the colors in your palette, depending on who you are. And that's why a guy like Ricochet feels like I am an evangelist for this company, because they let me do what it is that I want to do. And that was where AEW had the chance to really differentiate themselves. The problem is not everybody has gotten that opportunity. You look at Rusev, you look at Aleister Black. Those guys are very creative. You're like, oh, they're going to go hog wild here. Wasn't necessarily the case. So the grass is not necessarily always greener. Ricochet feels more empowered in AEW than he does at WWE. I was aware when he was in WWE that he wasn't thrilled with his time there and was like, I'm just kind of going through the motions, because he is an incredibly talented wrestler, and we are two incredibly talented hosts on a very confusing graphic situation going on here. But I like it. We'll get used to it. We'll be back on Monday, as we are every Monday through Friday at noon Eastern, on a plethora of platforms, including WWE Creative _ ISH X account, the at Dominic D'Angelo X account, the at SE Scoops X account, and on YouTube on Podcast Heat. And your thing is covered by the live graphic. I don't know. Studio One Sport. It changes on a weekly basis, but wherever you get us, however you watch us, if you listen to us in audio form, video, you get the written transcript somewhere. We love you all for it. And until then, on behalf of the man with more friends in wrestling than anybody I know, Dominic D'Angelo, I'm Robert Karpolis. Best of luck in your future endeavors.
I'm of the people and not a people's champion.